Hi all, Kitamari here. Playing Draculesti. This is a demo. This is a visual novel. I've already played it actually. I played some of it and I'm going to redo this recording. I enjoyed this so much. This is just a visual delight, fantastic storyline. I really like the main character actually. I like both of the main characters, these two, Dracula and Dracula's companion who we're going to meet. There are a lot of choices to be made as well. It's so good and a visual delight. So we're going to go ahead and go to start. And Romania, 1931, Castle Dracula. Romania, 1931, Castle Dracula. I, Roger M. Renfield, have been sent by the Harker and Hawkins law firm to complete the sale of a number of English properties. To the castle's master, Prince Dracula. Though Dracula has been hospitable, his domain is less so. Ghosts haunt the halls of this oversized tomb, alongside other unnameable creatures, men made of smoke and ash. My host swears they're nothing but bad dreams. But yes, it's true, I have a history of waking nightmares. That I've lost good years in a sanatorium. But since when do nightmares leave handprints? No amount of charm and hard liquor can fully convince me the monsters aren't there. The more Dracula plies me with them, the less I trust him too. Who can I rely on in this terrible place? Our nightcap knocks me out until sunset the following day. I'm a total disgrace, and I feel like shit. Someone's come through and left documents on the desk. I'm absurdly late for work. At least there'll be a distraction from everything that happened last night. My own conduct included. Alongside the documents is a breakfast tray. Scrambled eggs, bacon, grilled tomato, and hash browns. Most of it looks delicious. Can't say I want the bacon, but in these parts, best to eat it and avoid any undue attention. Beside the plate, a freshly cut rose is being used as a paperweight, keeping a delicate piece of stationery in place. I move the rose aside and look at the message. Master Renfield, I apologize for the disturbances last night. Do not feel guilty for being distressed by the condition of our home. It makes terrible noises that stoke worse ideas. If you'd like a tamer evening, there'll be tea in the parlor where we ate yesterday. I've invited the brides for a proper introduction. Theodora is eager to hear about her new home. Present yourself at the parlor between 7 and 8 if you've any interest. Otherwise, best of luck with your work. Prince Dracula. Love, Prince Dracula. As I eat breakfast, I consider my next move. Whatever I do now will set the tone for our relationship from here out. Should I try to patch things over or let the wound fester? Furthermore, there's that forbidden, haunted bathroom, my bathroom, closest to the tower anyway. Best to confront new fears as soon as possible. I can't spend this whole trip afraid of a sink. If I don't attend tea, I ought to confirm the ghost was nothing but a trick of the faulty lights. That was my cat. Lest I develop a new phobia. It was flippy. Besides, I never did get to shave last night. What'll it be, Renfield? Heed your master's call or brave your creepy toilet? Prove the bathroom ghost doesn't exist. I chose that one last time. I'm going to choose it again this time. Prove the bathroom ghost doesn't exist. Whatever it was that actually happened last night, whether or not he knows more than he lets on. I'm not comfortable with how Dracula pretended not to notice the marks on my neck. Best to keep some distance, finish the documents as quickly as possible, and leave before the situation gets worse. Staying functional means staying clean. Let's take a look at that sink. Toiletry bag in hand, I return downstairs for round 2. I'll clean the mirror and there will be nothing there. Then I'll shave. It will be fine. The bathroom is identical to the night before. The steam's dispersed, but the mirror is clouded with dust. Sure enough, when I wipe the largest section clean, there's nothing but me inside. My sorry, stubbly face. Time to fix that. I refill the sink, carefully retrieve the razor from the jumble, and set about shaving. I'm less precise than usual, still terrified there'll suddenly be someone behind me. Or worse, a bodily voice filling the room. The 3rd stroke wobbles. The 4th stroke I slip harmlessly. The 5th stroke cuts straight into my jaw. Herk! I lose hold of the razor. It clangs on the floor near my shoe. Since the room's nominally out of order, there aren't any towels and I forgot mine. What to do about the blood? There is a lot of it. I clamp my hand to the wound. It's shallow but prolific. It seeps between my fingers and drips on my collar. Got to wash it clean. Ducking toward the sink, I scoop both hands through the water to splash it on me. When I stand up straight again, the mirror is brighter. A faint glow emanates from the room. Before I can react, there are hands on my shoulders. My, what a nasty cut. I've had auditory hallucinations and visual hallucinations, but never anything tactile. Here, let me help. Releasing my right shoulder, they move their hand to my jaw. Then they lean over, and while I'm too stunned to react, press their mouth to the wound. It's almost a kiss. Finally, they withdraw. Their reflection clarifies in the mirror. A beautiful young man. When our eyes meet amidst the cracks, he lets himself breathe. Saliva to help it heal. I breathe too. Oh. He looks at the mirror and his face twinges. It's impossible to tell whether he's focused on my reflection or his own. Hard to know where to go next. Eventually, I find some composure and say, who are you? I'm gonna go with who are you. The other options are where did you come from or I didn't need your help. Another of the house's pitiful inhabitants. That's not much of an answer. It's all you'll get. I tried to turn and face him directly, but he catches my shoulders again and keeps me looking at the mirror. We're not finished, are we? I interrupted you last night and again now. If I could please have the razor, try mine. Before I can react, he slides his grip down my arm to take hold of my wrist and guides my hand to the mirror. Open your fingers. Do it or refuse. I'm gonna go with do it. I splay them out and expose my bloody palm. He pushes me forward, so I press it to the center of the cracks. Tiny, powdery bits of glass prickle against my skin. It's uncomfortable. Slowly, a red glow spreads out from the center along each line to the ends, as if the glass is bleeding too. Then, like a cut healing at umpteen times the speed, the cracks close. The mirror is a single perfect pane. He lets go of my hand and I lower it to grasp the edge of the sink. A tiny latch is now visible at the edge of the mirror. He clicks it open and swings the surface out, revealing an indented cabinet space behind. There are 3 items on the middle shelf, a strangely curved comb, a bulky off-white hairpin, and a folding razor with an oversized grip. Just having a safety razor against my face can be unnerving. Is he really going to use this instead? He takes it from the shelf. Yes, he is. As he unfolds it, he closes the cabinet. When we're done, don't forget to take those too. I'm not sure I need you to. As he brings the razor close and tilts it around my peripheral vision, I notice the grip has a serrated edge. 7 sharp points of varying size and shape, on a grip of dull ivory. He touches it to my skin and I realize what it is. I say nothing. With total grace, he slides the blade over my cheek. Now I can't say anything. What would I say if I could speak? His practiced hands make short work of the task. This is a man who's done this for many hours as any barber. When he's done, he folds the blade and presses it into my bloody palm. Don't forget the other pieces. Well, maybe next time we meet, we could play a game? Chess, or perhaps billiards? Wait. Yes, let's do billiards. I whip around. He's not there. It's like he was never there. The razor's still in my hand. 7 sharp points along the razor grip, whereas the grip of the comb, which has a familiar curve, has 7 holes. Atop the bony body of the hairpin, 9 loose teeth have been strung together to look like flowers, split into 3 discrete pieces. And there's a picture of it. It's been added to my inventory, shaving razor. The lower half of someone's jaw rests in my hands. After that strange encounter, I desperately need normalcy. Retreating to my bedroom, I slam the next section of documents on the table and bury my head in the driest details on offer. I calculate sales taxes, I cross-reference details about extension permits, I note depths of water lines. Anything to stop me thinking about the pieces of human jawbone I stuffed at the bottom of my suitcase. I absolutely will not think about it. I will think about condition reports instead. I drop my pen and open my suitcase. Digging through it, I find the pieces of jawbone. Someone has engraved the razor piece with a floral motif. The teeth have been plucked from the grip of the comb, looped into makeshift daisies to decorate the top of the hairpin. The more I look at it, the more disgusted I become. It's not right, desecrating someone's body parts like this. I've got to dismantle them. There aren't any scissors or pliers or pry tools in my bag, but I bet I can find some around the room. Check the wardrobe, check the desk, check the nightstand. I'm gonna go in order. Check the wardrobe. The wardrobe is half empty. There's enough space to put my clothes, but the other half is taken up by an assortment of suits and outerwear, with shoes in a row along the bottom. The drawers are the same, empty on the left, squished full of undergarments on the right. Nothing is modern, but it ranges from a few decades old to several centuries. While I'm sorting through, I find something hard in the pocket of the most recent suit. It's a utility knife. Ooh, we can disassemble the jaw tools now because we found the utility knife. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Shaving razor removed from inventory. Luckily, it's just jewelry wire holding the teeth together, so it cuts easily. Whatever's securing the blade and comb to the jawbone grips has gotten brittle. Those pry apart fine, once I've wiped the edges clean of glue residue. Ah! The loose pieces jitter across the floor in front of me, trembling autonomously over the boards. Like there's a weak magnetism between them. Teeth roll toward jaw pieces shark toward each other. The teeth rattle into their sockets. The sides twist and flip until they flank the front section. There's a hiss like a sword being quenched as they fuse back together. It's a complete lower jaw now. I have a million questions about why there was a disembodied jaw hidden in the bathroom, and almost as many about the belongings left around the bedroom. What happened to the former occupants? It all leads back to one man. I wonder if he's still in the parlor. Ah, Master Renfield, I was just about to turn in for the night. And there's our very own Dracula. Did you receive my note? I'm here to work, so I chose to work. But you made it in the end. Wonderful. Obviously, we're well past tea time, but perhaps some brandy or a cigar. I'm not a smoker, and a drink would help a lot, but the billiard table has caught my eye. The man in the bathroom mentioned liking billiards. I've never played. This could be an opportunity to learn. How about... I think I was starting to do Renfield's voice already, but whatever. I'm doing more of an audiobook style voicing here. There's a noise at the door. Got the smokes? Oh. Personally, I'm keen for a cigar. Come in. The stylish woman from last night enters, well-heeled and well-dressed as any shopper I'd see along Kudam. All dolled up, only she has nowhere to go. When she scowls at me, I feel like I'm back in secondary school. She presses a cigar box into Dracula's hands, but before she separates from him, she takes one out and lights it for herself. She blows the smoke in my face. She visually reminds me of main character girl in Cabaret. I forget her name. She's played by Liza Minnelli. I like that movie, Cabaret. We never got a proper introduction. That's your own fault. Master Renfield, this is Cesara, one of my brides. I'm not sure if I'm saying that name right. Cesara. Cez is fine. As a lady of the house, you're owed a certain amount of respect from the help. Am I now? You're my bride. Yeah, your middle bride. If you're not going to be polite, go somewhere else. Okay. She pushes past toward the door, trailing smoke. As she reaches the frame, she leans on an arm on it and turns back to look at me. Hope last night didn't scare you too much. With a toss of her hair and a flick of ash, she leaves the room. Her attitude is an acquired taste. If he says so. A cigar, Master Renfield. No, thank you. What can I offer, then? A game of billiards? How about some brandy? A game of billiards. Excellent idea. What rules? I haven't played enough to know the difference. We'll play 8-ball, then. He sets the table. We do our shots to find out who's playing first. Unsurprisingly, he gets it. Why come down after avoiding me all night? I wasn't avoiding you. Like I said, I was working. Work is an excellent way to avoid someone. I hope you had fun working. He breaks. It's a good shot. How's it going, then? On track? Got everything you need? Oh, yes, plenty. I take some shots. He takes some shots. He's better than me. I appreciate the refresher on the rules, though. About my room. What about it? Is that your stuff in the drawers? It's our lost and found. Past visitors. I was going to compliment you on the jackets. Ah, well. Not half bad, but not my size. Were they all left by the same guest? He glares as he pockets another ball. I smile blithely and manage to pocket 2. Be careful around the castle. I'm always careful. Are you now? Pocketing his last ball, he wins the game. Damn it. Thank you for the entertainment. And thank you for the advice. Good night, Prince Dracula. Good night, Master Renfield. I take the cue from him and stand with it for a moment, sizing him up. Then I put both of them in the rack and exit. It was good to get some practice and a better sense of the situation. Why doesn't he want to talk about the past guests in the tower? What happened to them? To him? I don't doubt for a second Dracula's warning is genuine. I have to be careful if I don't want to be disassembled and used for parts myself. Settling under the blankets, I stare up at the canopy. There's a constant draft in the tower. The chiffon curtains drift in and out from the bed, breathe with the air currents. Weak, unceasing motion, like pale sheets of snow. The art is so pretty, like the backdrops and just the art direction. There are no curtains in the bathroom. For anyone to see anything, both parties would have to stand in precise locations, one on the neighboring rooftop, one against the window, which meant the landlord never saw the need to add any. Nevertheless, it's discomforting to look out and know the world can look in. I really like the writing style, too. I like Snow falls over Berlin. Typical February weather. But it's light, and the radio babbles from the hall as I lie in my bath, the signal steady for the moment. From where I'm lying, I can see the hazy mid-skyline. Snow comes down, boilers vent up, everyone struggles to stay warm, surrounded by hot water and bubbles. I breathe slowly and appreciate being home. Tomorrow I'll be in Romania. Berlin hasn't been totally hospitable to me. Last year's election, any sensible person would be terrified, but there's not a nation in Europe that'd treat me in all facets as I wish to be treated. Nowhere is good, just better, or worse. Which will Romania be? I sweep the water over my chest, tracing half-healed scars, and try to forget the world outside. Home is these walls, central steam heating, green glass, ceramic tiles, a porcelain sink, fogged windows, long, narrow corridors, tight rooms with parquet floors, electric lamps, and a fridge and a stove. The safe haven of a made man. I am a made man. I have made it to safety. Tomorrow I'll leave my building, survive another week, and make it home by the end. Now the view is almost all white. This must be record snowfall. Unsurprisingly, the signal fades to gentle static and the radio broadcast stops. I don't like the ambience. The water's cooling. Between the drifts, there's a burst of blue light. A meteor shower? I wish it were a clear night. I would have liked to see. Is it visible from outside? Apologies for the interruption. We'll now be resuming our regular broadcast. Stay right where you are and settle in for a classic. Mephisto Polka. Yeah. Outside is a perfect pale void. The radio returns, a piano piece that buzzes along at an annoying frequency. It's meant to be jazz hour. How'd it reconnect? The bath has gone cold. If I get out, I can turn the radio off and take a look at the lights from my balcony. When I try to stand, my legs won't move. The water clings like glue. Despite how long I've been in the tub, the bubbles haven't popped. In fact, weren't they waist high before? How did they reach chest height? I can't lift my arms either. I lie limp in the too heavy water, unable to move as the bubbles rise. I'm not drowning here. They can't find me like this. Imagine the headlines. I don't want to imagine the headlines, tensing every molecule of myself. I explode upward. Lurch onto the tiles, gasp for air, catch the sink for balance. There's no splash, no wet handprint on the porcelain, no damp sole on the bath mat. A red shape lies amidst the bubbles in the water. Its lower jaw has been torn off and its eyes are gone. Below the waterline, I catch glimpses of an empty chest and incomplete arms, with its short black hair and narrow waist. That's me, isn't it? And I'm... The radio plays static. I step through the hall to silence it. Too tall, too dry, too dignified. I am a pearl, and the world is my oyster. There is no hallway, no radio, white noise and darkness. A breeze comes through. The darkness broadens. As my borrowed eyes adjust, the shades separate until I can see the night above and a forest all around. Great wing beats pound through the air overhead. As they pass by, they rain soot and ash. Larger objects fall in its wake. Antique pages with torn edges. I catch one as it slips by my face. A woodcut illustration of someone in silhouette, surrounded by people bent in supplication. Beneath the illustration is a title. Cantemir. When I lower the page, the scene has changed. A throne room, Eastern style, with an upholstered couch. Sat on the throne is a translucent figure who leans forward for a closer look at me. We regard each other. Slowly, the figure extends an arm. They roll their wrist and gesture for me to exit. I shy towards the door. If the Sultan wills it, so it shall be. On the other side is a plain stone chamber from an entirely different country, era, reign. Opposite the throne room is a heavy metal door secured with bars, deadbolts, and massive locks. Through a narrow slit in the door, I see sunlight. Something shifts into place behind the slit. One by one, a series of charred fingers stick through. Please, leave now. The occupant drags their face to the bars. Amidst the melted flesh is a pair of sharp green eyes. Nobody wants me here. How do I escape? Where is home? Fleeing along the stone corridor, I make it back outside into a courtyard. It's snowing. Meteoric lights flash in the sky, thrown from the atmosphere to land in the mountains beyond. The gates are open. I run for the hills. Amidst the peaks is a perfect pale void. Stumbling through the banks and drifts, I keep focused on the dim aura ahead, that blue glow behind the white. The snow deepens. Knees, hips, waist, chest. I am consumed by the cold. A hand reaches for mine. It pulls me from the snow. I'm carried half-conscious to the edge of a large box, dropped unceremoniously into a frigid concrete bath. While I sputter and shiver and shake, a grate slides across the top, trapping me inside. My rescuer straddles the box and peers through the grate. Leaving so soon? Dracula straddles the box. No. Good. Abandonment is the cruelest kind of treachery. Reaching out of sight, he takes hold of something. Why not stay forever? A bright silver knife. We have forever, don't we? The smile he wears doesn't reach his eyes. The knife lingers in the space between us. When we move... Get out. The world ends. In the morning, the relative morning, the wrong 6 o'clock. I like the writing, I think the writing's really good. I'm awoken by the sound of traffic. Staggering to the window, I see a convoy of horses, riders, carts, and carriages clatter into the courtyard at the front of the castle. This tower is angled over a ravine, but peering to the side, some of the pass is visible. There's a smell to investigate, too, another delicious breakfast. Today it's a kind of frittata with tomato relish. Whatever happens on this trip, at least I'll have had a good final meal. I sit down to eat and resolve to visit the courtyard after. Several dozen people are here. At the edge of the courtyard, I see some of them opening stable doors and feeding their horses. People are muttering, gossiping, conspiring all around, in all sorts of languages: Hungarian, Russian, Greek, Turkish, German. The short bride, Theodora, converses with a woman in Romanian. High above, on the battlements, the ragged bride, Ileana, watches like a gargoyle. There's no sign of Dracula or Sez. Excited to meet new, less hostile people, I cross the courtyard to join Theodora's conversation. Good evening. They both fall silent as they turn to face me. Theodora considers her words carefully. Good evening, Master Renfield. Buna, the gentleman? The Englishman, not gentleman. The Englishman. My reputation precedes me. What brings you and yours to the castle? I have no idea how to say that. We trade. Many like to trade with the prince or his princesses. She flashes a longing look at Theodora. She anxiously tries to ignore her. You have some countrymen here. Why not talk to them? From England. Paying closer attention to the medley of languages, I hear a Cornish accent near the flashiest car. Shh, sis, it's okay. He'll be here to help soon. A man comforting someone hidden in the back seat. As I approach, he rapidly evaluates my clothes. See, the Lord sent a concierge. Huh? Sorry, just a lawyer. A lawyer? Selling Dracula a property. It hurts. Shh. A girl in her late teens jolts straight in the seat. It hurts. She's emaciated and covered in sweat, hair a mess over her face. Not long, not long, not long. A trio of nearby visitors shuffle uncomfortably at the girl's crying. I'm uncomfortable too. I don't want to ask anything inane like, is she okay? Obviously not, but I don't know how to help either. Not acknowledging her seems worst of all. You're here to visit Prince Dracula, miss. She whines, neither affirmative nor negative. Do you think he can save her? Is that his grift, then? Faith healing? The Rasputin routine? It's all a ripoff as far as I'm concerned, but if they're this desperate, it seems cruel to say so. There is something truly special about him. He's worth a try. Frankly, I think you've been given the runaround. I'm going to say, frankly, I think you've been given the runaround. I think Dracula wants to eat them, frankly. Nobody should have their hope exploited like this. Vultures positioning someone so they'll die where they can be fed on, profiting from an inevitable death. It's cruel to him and it's cruel to his sister. Both of them deserve the truth and a peaceful end, not this desecration. How could you... His voice catches in his throat. The worst part is that he doesn't want to hear it. This is between us and the prince anyway, and miracles are for believers. It hurts! Before her screaming can scare everyone from the courtyard, a new figure arrives. Sez steps from the castle. The crowd falls silent around her as she crosses to the car. She draws a small, clear bottle from the pocket of her coat and presses it into the Englishman's hand. For her pain. The Englishman accepts wordlessly. Please. He turns to his sister, uncorks the bottle, and tips the contents into her mouth. Like a child, she panics, almost spits it out, swallows with a sour expression. Within moments, she relaxes. Her eyes flutter closed. She lies across the back seat of the car, breathing slowly. Sez relaxes, too. You're here to meet the prince. Yes, are you? Come inside. We'll find somewhere for her to rest. And you can have a meal. Too kind, too kind. It would be cruel not to offer. The Englishman takes his sister from the car and proceeds inside. Sez doesn't move. She regards Theodora coldly. Theodora is unflinching, though the supplier she's talking to becomes anxious. Then Sez shoots a look at me. At last, she leaves. The courtyard remains quiet. Not for long. Theodora and her supplier move alongside me. Have you seen her smile? No, should I have? 20 years, not a smile. Everyone is afraid of her. Now, Nico, she's just troubled. Trouble? Yes, she is trouble. She troubled you yet, Englishman? I draw a sharp breath. I don't have any complaints about her. She seems perfectly pleasant. Ah, the tat got him. What? Nico! Yes, that's what he likes. I don't have to know what tat, I think that's how you say it, are to figure out her meaning. I've never had the slightest bit of interest, and she doesn't need to know that. Show some respect. Respect? Psh. Appreciation is what a lady needs. Dracula doesn't appreciate them. He's a good husband. I like Nico. Theodora avoids her searching gaze. Master Renfield, you have work to do. Go and do your work. Excuse me? Proceed inside, return to your tower, ignore these vagrants, and for your own sake, ignore your curiosity tonight, too. Her iron will bends for a moment. There's a glimpse of concern behind it. Very well. Godspeed. Keep your head, Englishman. Like Theodora suggested, I go inside. Before I can make it further into the castle, I'm intercepted by the man himself. Quite a crowd today. Not going to greet them yourself? The brides take care of it. They certainly do. Back to work? Yes, nice to see visitors, but they've got their jobs and I've got mine. Later tonight. We entertain some of the guests in the Great Hall, and it can get rowdy. The tower should be far enough away that it doesn't bother you, but... Ignore the commotion? Of course. You'll be brought your dinner like usual. Dinner. Have a pleasant evening, Master Renfield. And yourself, Prince Dracula. He sweeps off along one of the many unmapped corridors. Despite what I told him, I'd like to take a look around the house before I return upstairs. I got a lot done yesterday, avoiding the family, so there's not much time pressure, and avoiding the family meant I saw barely any of the house. There's time for a couple of tasks. Now, where to start? So, I'm gonna stop here for now, and this may be a multi-part demo series, kind of like what I did with the little goody two-shoes, just because, you know, kind of lengthy demo and everything. So I guess I will give my opinion so far. I really like Gothic storylines in general. Gothics as a genre. The setting and the atmosphere and the tone and everything, and the kind of macabre, you know, style, but elegant, and the writing is really pretty. I really like the artwork. It is extremely distinctive. There aren't many visual novels that look like this. It's a very deliberate decision, the art style, and it's very pretty, very polished. And I like that there are things to do. Like, for example, right here we can see there are places to go. There are different kinds of like items that your character will pick up, like you saw earlier, of being able to find a knife inside of a drawer and being able to use that for something. It's just very, very cool. I'm really into this visual novel. Looks like it's going to be quite plot driven, actually, and very literary, and less about character interactions and more about telling an overall story in a really well done way. This is really good. This is extremely impressive. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching. Link in the description if you're interested, if you want to add it to your wish list, or, you know, kind of track the development, because it is still forthcoming. So Draculesti, thank you so much. Bye.